Now, once again, third 5 year plan um, was from 61 to 66 was self-sufficiency and defense agriculture was the main objectives. It is the beginning of green revolution, then Indo-China war, then Indo-Pakistan wars began, then the economic crisis. Ultimately the wars led to economic crisis, so the planned holiday had to happen. This was from 66 to 69. This was a short term plan due to the crisis. This is where previous 5 year plans got affected by the wars. Then the green revolution led in, then the severe droughts and inflation because of the lack of irrigation, and the green revolution did not expand throughout the nation, so severe droughts and inflation led. Then the fourth 5 year plan was 69 to 74, the growth with stability. It was the objectives. Okay, then it should not, the growth should not mean you keep increasing the inflation or increasing the imports, right? It should have a stable growth, and the poverty reduction was another objective, which is why the nationalization of banks and the Garibi Hatao slogan was became popular by Indira Gandhi. Then which again led to failure, that the political instability emergency was declared. The Bangladeshi war happened in 1971. Then fifth 5 year plan was 1974 to 79. The self-reliance and poverty removal were the objectives. Growth in employment and industry, the 20-point program of Indira Gandhi. This is a very famous, wherein person says that a communist party member says that the no RS Samaj member says in one of the public program that the 20-point program of the Indira Gandhi should become the 19th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So that famous it became. Then over reliance on public sector, so which made weak public participation. Okay, this was its a drawback. Now rolling plan was 1978 to 80. This was a flexible planning, so it was not planned, but it actually accommodated what and all needed a fixed attention, right? The focus was given on agriculture and small scale industries. It was short tenure, and but it lacked continuity. Then sixth 5 year plan was 1980s to 85. Poverty alleviation and technology were main objectives. Minimum needs program, that was minimum needs program and economic liberalization began. The income inequality was one of the consequence of this plan. Then the rise in the fiscal deficit because of the imports. We were importing a lot but did not export, so it led to fiscal deficit. Now, seventh 5 year plan in 1985 to 90, modernization and employment, these were the priority. So, IT telecom growth, it saw a rise in the IT telecom growth, then the rise in exports also it saw, then the rising trade deficit and the external debt. It ultimately, because of the, I told you, exports were very much less than the imports. So, that led to negative growth and the external deficit. Right, we'll see again. There is a topic for the remaining 5 year plans that we'll see then in the next video. So the conclusion is India's 5 year plans laid the foundation, right? These are the ones, be it Bakranangal project, IT sector, or the industrialization, they all saw their foundation in the 5 year plans. So India's 5 year plans laid the foundation for the economic development, but the challenges like bureaucratic inefficiencies, right, the financial deficits and the regional disparities persisted. Regional disparities in terms of, see, for example, green revolution was mainly concentrated surround North India, but it did not reach South India. So the regional disparities existed. Then industrialization, for example, South became more industrialized nation part than the North. Then the fiscal deficit because of the export and import imbalances. Then the bureaucratic inefficiencies. But the shift to market driven reforms post 1991 led to higher growth rates. Okay, but also increased the inequalities. Now, 1991 is specifically mentioned because this is post liberalization India, wherein privatization, liberalization, and globalization led to different path to the growth. Okay, so India's 5 year plans laid the foundation for economic development, but challenges like bureaucratic inefficiencies, the financial deficits, and the regional disparities persisted. The shift to market driven reforms post 1991 led to higher growth rates but also increased inequalities. So, now, after this, there is a development plans and a new economic policy regime. This is uh, 8 5 year plans onwards. So until now, we have seen 7 5 year plans. So new economic policy regime. This is post 1991, which is called LPG reforms begins from here now onwards. Here, introduction, you should start post 1991. India adopted new economic policy, right, based on liberalization, privatization, and globalization. The focus of planning shifted from state-led growth to market-driven reforms, with an emphasis on private sector participation and the global integration, right. The 5 year plans under new economic plan. So this is again missing. I'll just go here. Okay. Now, this is 8th 5 year plan, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. 8th 5 year plan was, the year is 1992 to 97. The objectives were economic reforms and the GDP growth. Okay, so its impact means achievement. Its achievement included high 6.8% GDP growth, and it saw a boom in telecom and IT services, wherein services were exported to the North America and Europe. Then increased regional disparities. Again, this is the challenge. This is one of the failures of this plan is it could not, because the south got more, for example, IT boom. South India got more service sector than the north. Now, 9th 5 year plan, 1997 to 2002, where this is the year which most of us are born. Now, growth with equity and agriculture, this was the objective. Then achievements were priority to the rural development, self-help groups were created. Then the fiscal deficit remained very high. This is one of the failure. Now, 10th 5 year plan was from 2002 to 2007. So the objective was to see a double digit growth, that is more than 10% they wanted to see, because if we are seeing 6.8 and the potential we are seeing, so the growth was double digit. This was the objective, but and the rapid increase in the infrastructure. Then India became the fastest GDP growth. India became the fastest GDP growth with 7.8%, and the Golden Quadrilateral was constructed. This is under Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So this became an economic. This gave an economic impetus to the overall development. Then the unemployment and farmer distress were some of the failures of this plan. Now, in 11 5 year plan 2007 to 12, inclusive growth was the objective. Social sector focus was another objective. Then the Narega program, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act came in. Then the health and education expansion, it saw a rapid rise in the PHCs. Okay. Now high inflation. This is again, it could not keep control of the inflation, but industrialization also remained slow. Now, 12th 5 year plan 2012 to 17, the faster, sustainable, and inclusive growth, these were the main objectives. This is when 2014 general election began in, and post this, the 5 year plan concept got replaced with the Niti Aayog. Then Skill India, Make in India became popular. Then the Skill India, Make in India, and the Digital India. The weak private investment, then the demonetization on the its demonetization and its impact on the economy were some of the failures. Then what are some key features of the planning under new economic regime? This is new economy planning was set in post 1991. So what are some key features? Means the shift from centralized planning to market economy. So it became more capitalist in its nature. So wherein the decisions of investments were taken by private players. Okay. Now public sector dominance reduced, so private investments were encouraged. Disinvestment to PSU, so Air India got disincentivized. Then the Bharat Petroleum also got disincentivized. Now, sector specific focus was another key feature. The agriculture saw Green Revolution 2.0, ENAM, this is National Agriculture Market, then PM Kisan, wherein 6,000 rupees per month, per year, per farmer was given. Then industry like Make in India, Startup India, then the production linked incentive schemes were launched. Then infrastructure included Golden Quadrilateral, the smart cities, Bharatmala, Sagarmala. Sagarmala is the port development, Bharatmala is the highways development. The smart cities means 100 smart cities that included ease of living, then all civil basic amenities. Then social welfare included Narega, RTE Act, Ayushman Bharat, and Digital India. So you can write. Now, end of the 5 year plans and transition to 2000 transition to Niti Aayog. This was 12th 5 year plan was the last plan of the planning commission. Then which led to Niti Aayog replaced the planning commission and focus on long term strategy instead of fixed period plans. Now, what are the differences if you see between planned economy and Niti Aayog? Okay, Niti Aayog is a bottom up approach. It was more of inclusive in nature, feedback driven economic development. Then on same way, the on the other hand, planning commission was top down. Policies were implemented designed by the central government, since there were chief ministers were not part of this commission. Now this was a linear approach to development. These are some of the differences. So to conclude, the post 1991 planning era marked a rapid economic growth, global integration, and digital transformation. But challenges like jobless growth, agrarian distress, and income inequality remain. The future policies must ensure inclusive, sustainable development. Okay. So with this, I'll conclude. We'll meet in the next video.